I want to bring a deep conversation to perimenopause because I think we've gone from a time where nobody was talking about menopause to everybody's talking about menopause. And I feel like we're settling in on this idea that the word menopause is a general term and that actually perimenopausal transition and postmenopause has to be treated very differently, even though they all say menopause. So I'm super happy you wrote this book because I think we need to double down on perimenopause being this really pivotal time. So for our listeners that don't know, can you explain when does perimenopause start? Like, how do we know we're in perimenopause?
Love this question, Mindy. And yes, this is the number one question I get from patients and my community all the time because the symptoms begin to start. And for some, it's subtle. For some, it's like a Mack truck moment. And they're like, is this perimenopause? And I feel like there's so many of us that are a little scared, you know, coming into it. Like, is this actually what it is? So I want to just quickly define menopause and we'll go from there. So menopause, natural menopause is anywhere between 45 years old and 55 years old. So we're going to fall somewhere in the middle of that. The average age of menopause is 51 years old. I know my mom went into menopause at 53. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I'm expecting somewhere in my early 50s, that's where I'm going to land as well. Now, perimenopause is the transition where our ovaries are winding down and our hormones are erratically declining without permission, mind you. I always say this is without permission. And this is anywhere between 4 and 10 plus years. A dear friend of ours, Dr. Sarah Gottfried, I was just talking to her recently, and she was talking about how she's been in perimenopause for 15 years.
Wait, she's still in perimenopause? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Good on her.
Still holding on. I'm talking about good reproductive longevity.
She hasn't let me in on that secret. That's amazing.
And the point is that it's a continuum. It is a massive continuum. And it's actually broken into different stages as well. Because you can imagine, I've been joking recently and saying, that's not a transition. That is a freaking career. Like 10 years of your life. Yeah. That's a long time. I mean, some of us have multiple careers in a 10-year span. And I think about in a lifetime, gosh, how much can happen in 10 years for any one of us? Gosh, how much can happen in 1 year for any one of us, especially women who are going through the gauntlet of hormones shifting in the time where we are taking care of everybody else. So that is perimenopause. It is that 4 to 10 plus year transition. It can happen as early as our mid 30s. Because you can imagine if someone goes into menopause naturally at 46, 47. I know many friends of mine who went into menopause at 47 and 48 years old, and they were experiencing symptoms in their mid to late 30s. But again, because we weren't talking about it, because we were telling women that no, there's no way, they're too young. Often those symptoms, these are even functional doctors, these are medical doctors who were dismissed in their own experience.
Yeah, so I go back to my own perimenopause experience, and it really hit me hard at about 43. And my first symptom was I wasn't sleeping, and I became very agitated. Like I could, somebody would do one thing. Like I always think about the day that I got into bed, and I swear I could hear my son chewing his cereal downstairs in the kitchen. And I went downstairs and I was like, "What are you doing? It's so loud down here." And he's like, "Mom, I was just eating cereal after soccer practice." And that was about 43. And we weren't talking about menopause then. We didn't have language for it. So help our listeners understand what those early symptoms are, because I feel like I felt like the symptoms of menopause in general sideswiped me. It was like, whoa, I was this way one day, and then boom, all of a sudden I'm yelling at my son for chewing cereal too loudly.
Having a snack after his soccer practice.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Mom, I'm just trying to have a snack.
He's
in
like,
the
I'm
kitchen.
just eating.
I'm like, your existence currently right now.
That's right.
Needs to step out of this house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 43 years old was the year that I was blindsided by perimenopause as well. And I was just coming out of postpartum. My son was barely 2 years old. And I think for so many of us, especially the brain-related symptoms, can feel like an exacerbation of the daily pain points of everyday life. And so for me, I was like, oh, this must be my thyroid, or, oh, I must not have recovered well from the postpartum experience. Maybe my stress response system is overactivated again. So I feel like that is so often it's a yes and for women in peri, where as we start to lose these protective shield hormones that, by the way, are full body hormones. And as they become, they just start to crumble, right? All of a sudden we see these exacerbation of symptoms, sometimes things that we had been managing the whole time, that we had under control until these hormones begin to drop. Other times I feel like things were simmering under the surface and are finally up for a review. But the big thing that I hear from women, including myself, it sounds like you too, Mindy, is the brain related symptoms, because this is a neuroendocrine transition. Just like puberty, just like postpartum, the brain is under massive reconstruction. I call it like a massive remodel. And it is happening when we have so much, I call this the higher stakes game. Because now our careers are happening, we are running households, we are managing families, we are in a sandwich generation. This is very much the messy middle. And we don't have a lot of bandwidth to begin with. Like, we kind of need it all to run well. And when all of a sudden sleep begins to go to the wayside, we are more irritable than normal. We have brain fog and cognitive issues. We cannot remember the words that we were trying to say. We don't even know why we walked into the room that we deliberately walked into. All of this begins to help us feel like we're losing it, like we're crazy, like we don't know what's going on with our bodies. I would say the brain-related symptoms are the most common symptoms, and for so many women, the most destabilizing symptoms, because when we are having to operate at a high level, like most of the women that I've always taken care of are very high functioning. And when you start to pull the rug from under them in terms of their cognitive and their emotional resilience, it's like they're thinking, is this early dementia? Like, what is going on with me?
Yeah. And I think that's the hardest, especially when you're used to keeping lists in your mind and so
all the tabs.
You're not writing stuff
but you
down.
can do it, right? You can, and then you can't.
And I agree.
It's like, but we don't have the support in place or the knowing that this is going to happen. It can just feel like a reckoning. I call this the reckoning.
I love that.